All right, we're talking about She-Devils on Wheels. So I know this is normally horror, but I was missold this film where I kind of thought it was a horror and was like, oh, this is not. But guy does a lot of kind of gory horror type stuff, but unfortunately this isn't that. And I think when I introduced my commentary, I was like, "Go fuck yourself if you don't like it, what I'm doing," because I was incredibly drunk. Yeah, basically, this is trash. Like, this movie is just out of trash. It basically follows these main characters who are called the Man-Eaters, who apparently weren't really played by actual actors. And guess what? It is incredibly obvious that that is the fact, that they are not actors. And what you do need for your film is actors. Because it's like if you try and get someone who isn't qualified in any way to build you a house, guess what? That house is going to fall apart. And yeah, this is just fucking trash. I do remember when I was watching the film, I pointed out there's a review of us like, in the review of the film, critic Jeffrey Kaufman wrote that for Jada's modern day viewers, a lot of depictions here seem quaint at best and pretty comedic at worst. Which, yeah, there's very little gore. I was kind of expecting more. I'd be like, yeah, it's kind of cool biker gang that fucking kill people and all this kind of shit. And I was like, yeah, this be awesome. Nah. There's none of that. There's not even any real good sex. Like, if you got a bunch of biker chicks, there's not even any nudity. There's very little violence. Like, there's maybe one, there's a few kills, but with knives and shit. Then the more brutal one is like a decapitation, which, yeah, is alright. But it's just like, decapitation by like a wire between like a couple of trees, like a Looney Tunes style. But yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? You just like, I would want more gore, or more nudity, or more anything of this. More both. These Man-Eaters have kind of like a little bit of a code where they're like, so when they do like a race, whoever comes out first basically gets their pick of the men. But I don't know where these men come from. What are they just like? Is this just a reverse of like a biker gang where there's just a bunch of groupies or some shit? Don't know, but basically one of them is constantly just picking the same man. And it's like, ooh, you can't draw attachment. So they kind of attach him to the bike and drag him along a bit to brutalize him. Which is kind of cool. And then that's it. It's just kind of not... It's like, that guy's just like, oh yeah, he's been scarred, and then... Anyway, moving on. They're like, well, we can't show that anymore. That would cost more money to actually keep showing that. We better not do that. We'd have to constantly put this guy in makeup all the time. We did it once. That's it. We're done. We're done, guys. And they have like an initiation for one of the characters, which they cover in oil and like paint some shit. And then I guess he just basically has a gangbang with a bunch of dudes. This seems to be what it was implied in the film. I don't know what dude's like, you smell of oil. Let's fuck. What? 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 No. No thank you. No thank you at all. The police. There's some police in this where they're basically more just bumbling kind of idiots. They don't really do anything. And then there's like a few other rival gangs, or a gang. I think it's the same gang. Again, it's hard to keep track. It's just also where I just don't care and was rather drunk. But again, dual fight, at least with, let's say, the first gang, who they basically kind of brutalize, and let's say the second gang, or the same gang again, get revenge, possibly by basically brutalizing the like very young kid who's not implied to be killed. So again, they're still just like, meh, this is fine. Because basically, like, and then yeah, so you got that. So and then they go basically on a revenge, and that's kind of the end of the film where they go out and get revenge. There's the main character who's basically has a guy. She keeps picking, so then they basically brutalize him, and then later on she just has another guy that she's kind of basically like, hey, you should like maybe not, maybe not. This maybe have you tried not be part of this biker gang. It just kind of goes nowhere. It's basically most things of the film. It kind of goes nowhere. Weirdly, the biker gang. I keep thinking anytime I was watching it. If you've watched BoJack Horseman, the kind of cat they have a man-eaters, like a kind of classic biker gang that's in yellow. So that's a bit weird. They don't have like proper leather jackets because I guess they cost money. But they have like a pink cat with like green eyes, and I'm just like, that's fucking Princess Carolyn from BoJack Horseman. I'm just, I can not, for the entire film, I could just not get that out of my head when I was watching it. So that just stuck with me watching the entire film. But honestly, this film was kind of trash, and I don't think it's kind of bad, but not. I don't think it's bad in a good way, like The Room or whatever. I think it's kind of just a bit boring. Like I said, it needs more gore, or more nudity, or more fucking anything, because it just has nothing, and the story is a bit shit. And you're like, well, I don't really have anything that I want. Yeah, I want to watch this film for. It's just meh. We live in an age where we've got a bunch of really cool, biker stuff. Obviously not, biker women. So that'd be kind of cool to see. It would have been nice to see like a cool biker gang of women, but unfortunately it's poorly acted, so it's a bit rubbish. And this DVD Blu-ray I got, basically just throw in another movie which I haven't seen yet, but it kind of tells me a lot, where they just go, well, here's another movie. It's just another movie because we know this isn't that great, so here's just a bonus movie that we're not really gonna say this on here. Like the inside cover doesn't say that there's another movie in here. I didn't know there was another movie in here. It wasn't until I put the movie in and was like, choose movie, and I'm like, you what, mate? There's another movie in here? What? Because I was like, oh, I just watched this as a one-off because I've got one movie. I'll watch it. Cool. Oh, what? Another one? Yeah, it's trash, and I don't think it's good. Is good in any good way, It's not bad good. It's not so bad it's good. It's just trash. So don't watch it. Avoid it. And maybe stuff this director did that's actually horror we could watch at some point, if anyone has any recommendations. But for now, I say that's terrible, and we'll see you next week for Halloween 6. I don't know. I'm probably going to release just a commentary, and then a week after will just be the other commentary, the producer's cut, and then the review. Because normally I only do one commentary, one review, but this time we've got two cuts that there doesn't seem to be any real consensus of which one's the good cut. And it's not just an extended cut. It seems to be wildly different. So we'll be watching both cuts and then do a review. Because I'm not going to do an individual review of both. That seems silly. especially since they'll just cover most of the same stuff. Yeah, it should generally be the same kind of plot overall. But yeah, that's that. And then what we got? I think we got the last 2 Gamera films. Getting near the end of that series, so I'm looking forward to that because I think I'll be going back to Godzilla, and there's an argument to say the Heisei era of Godzilla is one of the best. And also there's an argument to say the Heisei era of Gamera is also the best, from what I've seen. So yeah, we'll check those out. But for now, I say thanks for watching, and farewell.